certificates in the proper speaking order. Maxine, Eva. Kingi Biddle. Let's commence the interviews. First of all, there's your microphone. Maxine.
We're friends at the moment.
We are. Working, yes, all good. Your interests and hobbies. It says walking, have done some long walks in the South Island, knitting, Toastmasters. My question to you is, what are some of the long walks you've walked on? What's your the most memorable walk?
Everyone. I loved them. I did them about 10 years ago. But there was a very handsome... Oh, no, I won't go there. I just enjoyed everyone because it was about 5 days off work. I always meet people from all over the world. I get used I get to know them. I just loved every one of them, and I like the South Island. It's time off. Yeah, everyone.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What is your favourite quote is, as a man, woman thinks, so is he. Can you expand on that?
Oh, yes. It's everything, isn't it? I mean, everything. It's so important to me. I started to learn to control my thinking when I was in my 40s, and I do it consciously because out of that springs everything about my life. The way I think is everything. So, yeah, it's huge to me, that quote.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What club, before we stop, what clubs do you belong to?
I belong to Morning Toast, beautifully run club, which I really enjoy, and I also belong to Auckland Advanced. I think it's something to do with their age.
Mike's interests are golf, Toastmasters and the enjoyment of laughter. My question to Mike is, why the interest in golf?
That's the most ridiculous question I've ever heard. And it would take all night, but I want to digress. Because I'm worried about all these guys up here, because apart from Connie and Clinton, all of us are sick. Although Clinton does have something wrong with his upper lip. If I tell you why I like golf, it would bore the pants off everybody.
Next question for you. Favourite quote, if it says here, life is measured not by the breaths we take, but by the moments our breath is taken away. Mike, what takes your breath away?
My missus. But actually, over this weekend, I heard another quote that I really do love, and it relates to what we do up here and why everybody should have a go at this. This quote said that when people stare at you, remember they're simply taking notes on how to be awesome.
Last question is, what club do you belong to?
Flying Star in Auckland.
Wonderful. Kingi.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Noticeable accomplishments. You placed in the World Championship of Speaking Finals in 2011, 2013. How long did it take you to get to that point? How much preparation was required?
Oh, was lots. I played golf with this guy who has left hand. I went to hospital and there was this lady that was taken in because she had a spine problem. I was trying to get some thoughts, had to hold her goldfish. This guy with this freaky moustache tried to arrest me. But yeah, lots.
So as your interests and hobbies is hanging out with the whānau, going to the movies. What movie inspires you, Kingi?
Yeah, good question. Thank you very much for asking me that question. The Toastmasters movie. The Toastmasters movie, that's the movie that inspires me. Because wherever I go to Toastmasters, whether I'm in my club, my area, my division, my district, when I'm invited to go to other districts, or when I go to the international convention, the Toastmasters movie is always there. And that movie has one word. That's what the plot is. Whānau. Family. So that's my favourite movie. That's why I love coming back. This is, I'd just like to say, Tony, I'm so committed that, I have come to all of the District 112 conferences.
Second to last question. Favourite quote, be kind and look after each other. Who in your life has inspired you with this particular quote? Who is that person?
My grandmother. Was one of the last words she said before she closed her eyes, packed her bags and went home. To the ancestors. Just for those who don't know, my grandmother passed away last week. One of the last things that she said to us was, look after each other and be kind to each other. So, as you know, I quickly changed my speech so that my grandmother could live in that speech and her words could carry on. So that's really, my grandmother was 95 years of age. She could have been 95, she could have said, her last words would be, use oil of Yunnan. But her favourite words were, be good to each other and look after each other. That's my favourite words.
Wow. What club do you belong to?
It's awesome. Our club's called Taniwha Hunters. Once upon a time it was lunchtime, but it was originally called Taniwha Hunters because whether you're a great speaker, whether you've been on here before or it's your first time, there's always a taniwha that you're going to hunt. And that's a fear of failure, that's just a fear. Today, a few of us hunted taniwha.
Connie, your interests and hobbies, says reading, fishing and rock hunting. What type of rocks do you search for?
Well, I'm really trying to convince my husband that there is a big diamond out there. I'm still rock hunting. Darling. I just do love collecting agates and fossils, and I just love being out there one with nature.
Wonderful. And it says, what is your favourite quote? Be the change that you want to see in the world. My question is, what are the changes you want to see in the world?
I'd like to answer that by telling you a story, actually. It was about an old man sitting at the lamppost on the corner of the street up here. And a man came and saw him there, and he said to him, tell me, what are the people like here in Hamilton? And the old man said, where do you come from? He says, oh, I come from Christchurch. And the old man said, what are the people like there? And the man said, oh, they're shocking. Oh, they moan, they groan, they're just shocking. And the old man said, they're like that here too. Then another man came along, he saw the old man. He said, what are the men like here? What are the people like here? And he said, where do you come from? He said, I come from Christchurch. And what are the people like there? Oh, they're wonderful. They're warm, they're caring, they're loving. The old man said, they're like that here too. So for me, it's more than a perception. It can't be a perception, it's got to be a reality. And the only way it can become a reality is if you live it.
Thank you, Connie. What club do you belong to?
I was waiting for that. I come from the top club in New Zealand.
Yes.
Literally, we are the top club. We're right up on the very north, so furthest north, so we are definitely on top Toastmasters.
Ian Luckhurst says what inspires you the most? John Kerwin for his work in promoting wellness. Could you tell us more about what John does, Kevin?
Well, thank you. I told you I like table topics, so here we go. Our man John was one of the first to stand up when it wasn't fashionable to have a mental illness. Our man John came from one of the industries where it's not fashionable to shed a tear occasionally and be nervous. Top rugby player, top bloke. Took a lot of guts to stand up and say, hey, it's okay to be not okay. It's been a couple of years. A few other people have got with the program. I love it. One of the things about this competition is you only get 7.5 minutes if you run it to the wire. And I'm really grateful to David for carrying on with the same subject because there is so much to talk about. And I'm really grateful to my club. Over in the corner there, we've got two lovely ladies who are waving a pukako around. That's our club mascot. And those two lovely ladies have pulled me out of the wreckage more than once. And they've helped me put together a handout for you guys with some of the stuff on it that I didn't have time to say. There's some really useful bits of paper in there. Some exercises for anxiety, some self-help for depression, a lot of really useful links and phone numbers. My email address is on the bottom of it. And if I get 2 emails saying, please can you send me the digital copy, that's a big win for me. If I can share with you, with your club, the work that John started, it's right for you to hear. Thank you.
Your favourite quote. Make sure you finish talking before your audience stops listening. Have you heard of a book? Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
I was going to say, have you heard of a book, How to Lose Friends Under the Influence? No.
Well, I've spent most of this weekend regretting sweating the petty stuff. There have been times when I've also regretted petting the sweaty stuff. But it's been really good to be here. Thank you very much for listening. And somebody else can have a turn now because I'm getting tired.
Kevin, what's the name of your club before you finish?
We are Naumai. We are South Taranaki.
Right. Where are we? Bear with me, sir.
It's under M, it's alphabetical, it's just after halfway.
Just bear with me for a minute.
Well, while I have the mic,
That's a great question.
That's around.
Questions from the audience, please.
Question from the audience.
What club are you from?
I am from Whanganui Toastmasters, note the aspirated WH. We are very well known because we're in the town of Whanganui. We're a fantastic club. We have 21 members. We're pushing to get 9 out of 10 DCP goals this year, and we're really, really supportive. I gave my president's report at our AGM last week, and one of the things I said is that while the DCP is fantastic, there are some things that can't be measured. Our club, we're really, really supportive. This was a difficult speech to give initially. By the time I got to this level, I was pretty comfortable giving it. But I could only have given that speech for the first time at my club because I have such a supportive club. And there's been a number of people who've been risk takers and talked outside the comfort zone that they have, and that's because we're just so welcoming and inclusive. People have fun there, and it's a safe learning environment.
What's your favourite hobbies? I think it was fishing, wasn't it?
Fishing was one of them, but I would like to say that I do use all of ULAN. One day at the pinnacle of my rugby career, I made my mind up to tackle John Kerwin, and I did. Although he won't remember it, but so there you go, that's John Kerwin. Now, fishing. I love to get out fishing. I've got a little boy for my sins in a previous life who's got a 35-year-old brother and a 30-year-old brother, but anyway, he's 6 and that's another movie, but he loves fishing, and we bought a boat recently and we get out, and you know what he says to me? He says, you know what, Dad, the best day at school will never be as good as the worst day out fishing. Absolutely thrilled to be there, and it's an absolute buzz, and it's a stress release, I guess, from work and from everything else that we endure all week, every week in the Auckland traffic.
Question, Clinton, are you going to shave the moustache off?
Well, there was a part of my speech I was going to talk about my wife, who I was going to say approves to all the guys that have asked me, and loves it to all the guys that have asked me, and has agreed to put up with it for a little while longer. But yeah, so no problems there. But it's the only part on my face that my hair actually grows anymore. So anyway.
Thank you. Thank you all. One more, Jenny. All right. Bear with my ignorance. Deborah.
I've been thinking the whole time.
Good for you.
Trying to remember what my favourite quote was, but I can't remember either, so I'll be surprised for both of us.
When you want it, no, that's not all.
I've got a meeting on Wednesday.
I can tell you about something that I read yesterday, which is my new favourite quote that I read, and it is, "You will be too much for some people. They are not your people." You're too much for some people will be just enough for others, and don't unmuch yourself. That's my new favourite quote, and I go to Moo Talk Toastmasters with Sandy in Auckland, and Dave, who's here as well, so awesome to be here and to represent Moo Talk Toastmasters.
Mark. Thank you. So, we had some photos taken too, George.
Clinton, show your certificate. Clinton.
That's the one. Just keep smiling. Thank you.
Wonderful.